exam,
They'll be
EOC, they should be able to identify the cycling dependent protein.
Okay,
Okay.
so, yep. So it's almost as if it's all of those things and then, okay, that makes it, so the first two are fine, right? They should know those.
Yes.
I think those are
It's very
good.
important for them to know the phases
Yes.
of the cell cycle, right?
In the correct order.
Mhm.
It's also important to know like what happens in each of the parts of the cell cycle. So like
Yes.
that tying together.
Mhm.
Then they need to know what a CDK is and its purpose.
Yes.
They don't need to know about cyclin.
So cycling is mentioned, right? And we
Yes.
talked about cyclins before.
Yes.
So they will need to know that, and you can keep that on there, right?
Uh-huh. But they don't need to know the specific reactions. They just need to know that CDK binds with various different CDKs bind with different cyclins to either activate or inhibit a reaction
Yes.
in the cell cycle.
Mhm.
That's it.
Mhm.
They need to know that. To either inhibit,
or activate.
there we go, that was the word I was looking for, or
Mhm.
activate specific parts of the cell cycle. Okay.
And I would, that last question is just gonna wrap everything up.
Yep.
I mean, that last no.
Yep.
Okay? And so,
Cool.
and so now with the showing, and we can talk through the show, right? And so the scholar should be able to show the different phases of the cell cycle. And they can show it by drawing or labeling the
Okay.
different phases, right? Claim, evidence, reasoning. And so it's going, and I put claim, evidence, reasoning because you want them to be able to analyze the text, right? So if you're showing them the text, and you want them to pull from the text how CDK becomes active, when it's active and is inhibited, what the reaction was, they should be in the text. They should be able to say, okay, my claim is when CDK is present, it can inhibit or activate a reaction.
Yeah, can you go back? There was a sentence that you said, it was like, that when they're reading, they should be able to identify when CDK happens, or when it reacts, when it doesn't, or when it's activated.
Or when it's inhibited.
And for what was? Sorry, I'm just,
Mhm.
that was a really good sentence, and I think
Mhm.
that would be really helpful for like putting on their notes. Okay.
Right? And then they have that claim, evidence, reasoning, right?
Mhm.
Because this is a text that they're reading, right? And so then the checkpoints. So when you were watching the video and you saw the CDK, and remember how through each phase it was like almost a checkpoint, kind of like, okay, right here, stop, check, what do I need to do? Do I need to be active or not, right? Then it goes through a different phase. Okay, this is time for me to be active, I'm transmitting this signal, right? Because when they see the different phases of the cell cycle, they're gonna see they make it look like a peanut, right?
Mhm.
Because it's, I guess, protein. Which is funny in the 3D model. So when it's active and when it's not active, they're gonna be able to identify or show and explain that with claim, evidence, reasoning.
And then they should be able to show and explain evaluation of a tumor
Mhm.
when CDK, when there is continual cell growth, and show and explain the effective cells when there is no growth or progression to the next phase. Okay. Cool.
Okay, cool. Questions?
No.
Sure?
Yeah, there will be questions, but not right now.
Open up your book to 11 point,
Okay.
before we move on.
11.3?
Yep,
Okay.
because I think this is going to be really helpful.
Use a book. Oh, cool, regulating. Huh.
Yep. So remember you was like, oh, it's nothing in the book, I can't find it, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it's not.
It's not labeled as CDK.
CDK. It's the regulating of the cell cycle, right?
Yep.
And so when you go through the regulating of the cell cycle, it goes control cell division, the regulatory proteins,
Mm-hmm.
the external and internal regulators, right? Because you have
Mhm.
both inside and out the cell. Something that is the cyclins,
Mm-hmm.
apoptosis,
Mm-hmm. And then
then
cancer.
cancer growth, right?
Huh. How about that?
Yes.
And then there's a graph that we can use to
That's
make.
going to
Oh my
go
god.
into EMI. So I got your back, David. So now,
I'm so happy right now.
if we look at page 352,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yep.
And then we go to our CCRS
Yep.
objective. And so the CCRS objective, and the good thing we broke it down into two, right? It says determine which simple hypothesis, prediction, conclusion is or is not consistent with two or more data presentations, models, and or pieces of information in the text,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so now we have our figure 1112,
Yep.
right? That's talking about cyclings,
Yep.
right? We have the text of the cycling,
Yep.
right? We have the graph of the cycling.
Yep.
And then they can make a prediction, hypothesis, or conclusion from this data chart based on the text that they read.
Yeah, it says, even right here, it says form a hypothesis. Suppose that the regulators that control cyclin production are no longer produced. Hypothesize two different outcomes.
Yes.
And so then what I can do is I can have them do that,
Mhm.
right? And so they're creating their own hypothesis.
Mhm.
But then what I can do is I can have prepared two different hypotheses.
Yes.
And I can, as a example, show them and say,
Mhm.
okay, does this hypothesis support what we've learned so far in the text? Here's your claim, evidence, reasoning,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to model that for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then have them do it on one,
Mm-hmm.
which is their exit ticket.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So when in saying all of that, we're gonna write that down too, because mine is very similar to that.
Okay.
So now just looking at our and you could just look at this one.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so with your no and your show for the CCRS,
Mm-hmm.
we could look over that really quick.
Yep. Yeah. That's all pretty standard
Mhm.
from the EMI that we did before.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So then describe the significant role of C. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mhm. Yeah. Logical.
Mm-hmm. Questions about this?
No.
Okay. I do have a question.
Mhm.
So this is one day.
Mhm.
Do you think while, as we're co-planning, should it be 1.5 day, or can all this be 1 day?
This can't be 1 day.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way, because the reading itself is probably, like, just based on what I've tried to do before with readings,
Mhm.
they don't get through the readings in time.
Mhm.
And so I need to be able to show them how to break down the text first, and then have them break it down.
Yeah, so I agree, that's why I asked, I just wanted to,
Okay.
us to go, discuss it. So, now, because we're gonna go into, our exemplar, right? For
Yep.
our exit ticket,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
how much time do you think you
I think it's 10:04. I need probably like 3 minutes
okay, how much time are there?
at 12.
Okay,
And either if you could either give me a break right when the bell rings, or if you can let me go a little bit
I
early.
got you, yep, I got you when the,
Yeah,
bell
sorry.
rings. I'll let them in, I do apologize.
No, you're totally fine. I just have to go to the bathroom.
Don't you think this is so fun?
Yeah, no. Okay,
I'm just
so
I'm
listen, I love, like, okay, here's my only thing. I love this. I will do this all day long. But now, like, how do I fit it into my schedule?
Mhm.
Because I'm thinking to myself, it's already taking me so long just to fill out the format that we have to do.
Mhm.
How do I do this extra stuff on top of that?
Mhm.
And so I'm working. I'm not saying that I can't. I want you to hear that. Now
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, okay, I love what we just did. I love how I learned to do that. But at the end of the day, if that's all I did, I still don't have a lesson.
Mhm.
And so now how does that,
We're gonna get.
okay,
Mhm.
cool.
So like breaking it up into the exit ticket, then the I do, and then we're going back and forth. We just plug in things that are good from yours, things that are good from mine. Take away things that don't need. Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. So in the CR format, and you want me to use this still exit ticket, right? The CDK regulation in the cell cycle is essential to prevent any mistakes, ensuring the proper functioning of DNA multicellular organisms.
Let's see.
That's the one from AP
So
for all.
with AP for all, and we could just go through these.
Okay.
let's see. And so with that, yes. But only thing I did tweak is in 2 paragraphs, 5 to 7 sentences each.
Yes.
Answer the questions below using specific scientific language. Hence,
Yep.
cell cycle checkpoints, cell differentiation, environmental factors that affect the rate of mitosis,
Yep.
right? Because those are all hints that the kids may need right now because they're still learning.
Yes, thank
Right.
you, okay.
And then the question is why CDK regulation in the cell cycle is essential to prevent any mistakes to ensure the proper function of DNA in a multicellular organism, right? Which is the question, but I tweaked it a little,
Uh-huh.
right? Because you want them and also preparing them for preparing rigor, they have to be able to write the 2 paragraphs. They need to know that paragraphs are 5 to 7 sentences, right? Complete sentences, using scientific language.
Yep.
Right? And so you're giving them this hint, and all of the hints are just hints from what you introed them to, right? And so this will be my exemplar.
When a cell grows in a multicellular organism can't be regulated carefully, then the cells grow out of control and form masses of cells. These masses are tumors. Cancer tumors can be very harmful, damaging the shredding tissue, disrupt blood vessels. Yeah. Yeah.
And it may be, it's gonna be varied because you have,
The different, yeah.
yeah. And this is just 1 paragraph.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, that's very logical.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that isn't a CER format though.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So that doesn't have to be there. Okay.
Because I didn't give them a document to analyze.
Correct.
Now, you can flip it and say, and this is you tweaking it to make sure they are understanding the CRE and have them use the text. And you can say, using the text, identify
Yeah.
why CDKs.
Yes.
and
So I
cell
could
regulation
say,
are essential to prevent any mistakes.
yes. So I could say for like day 1, their exit ticket for day 1 is using the text that you've used today and analyzed today and broken down. Complete a CER to support the following statement, and then make that statement of like, it is essential to prevent any mistakes. And then they can use, yes, according to the text, we learned about like CDK, if CDK is inhibited or activated, and I can like give them the hints and all of that too. Okay, I can do that. So I'm gonna just make myself a note here. In 2 paragraphs of 5 to 7 sentences, using scientific vocabulary and complete sentences. In 2 paragraphs of 5 to 7 sentences using scientific vocabulary and complete sentences. What are the 2 words that we keep using?
Inhibited.
No, the confirm, or like when you're defending something, like you support it or it contradicts. Using in 2 paragraphs of 5 to 7 sentences using scientific vocabulary and complete sentences. State whether the following statement is supported or, what do we say?
Contradict.
Yeah, contradicted.
No, if it supports or contradicts.
If it supports or contradicts. Okay, in 2 paragraphs of 5 to 7 sentences using scientific vocabulary and complete sentences, state whether the following statement supports or contradicts what you have learned. Yes?
Not what you have learned. It has to be support or contradicts.
Something on the text, right? Based on the text.
Yeah, so you can base it on the text, meaning if it support or contradicts how that CDK depends on cyclins, right? Because it's cyclin dependent, right? Because if the cyclin isn't there, it's not going to function appropriately because it's dependent on the cyclin, and that is stated in the text.
Contradicts the support. Wait. Okay. I need to mess with that, but yes, that's going to be what the first one is. So then that means day 1. Okay. So then day 1 is a guided practice lesson.
Yes.
It's the first chunk of the I do is going to be me modeling how I analyze a text.
Yes.
I'm going to do a think aloud where I read out loud and I analyze the text for information and then record it in a template, like some sort of guided note template. Then I will have them read and do the same. I will AGMO to make sure that they're doing the notes right, and then we will come back together for the like that middle part.
Yes.
And I will stamp the things that like, yes, you're doing this and this, but like this is what you're missing. Which that I don't know about because I've never taught reading. And then I will have them go back and continue reading and finish it. And then for the closure, we'll come back together and I will say that like, so based on like, we will stamp the fact that like CDKs are essential.
Yes.
We will stamp the fact that like when they don't have, like when CDKs and cyclins are not working together correctly, bad things happen, like apoptosis or cell growth and cancer. And then that then turns into, okay, great, now here's your exit ticket, and then they analyze that exit ticket. Holy crap!
And the do now.
That's why it's easier. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. That's why it's easier.
No. It just take a little bit longer to process, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, that makes so much more sense.